Thank you so much. I do really appreciate the opportunity to speak with everyone today. My project management, program management experience has really been bolstered by my association as PMI, PMP, and also an Compensate systems, expert systems engineer. And so I bring those disciplines into this conversation today, and I just want to say hello, everyone, and thank you for attending today. I really do appreciate your attendance. And today we're really going to spend some time exploring the relationship between risk management and how we deal with project contingency. This is often a connection that is misunderstood or in some cases completely missed. Many of us, know what it's like to build up a risk register and have it put away somewhere, never to look at it again. But when you do this well, it really can lead to better project outcomes in all areas, from scope, schedule, and budget. So I appreciate that you've taken time, valuable time out of your day to entertain this topic, and I sincerely hope that it brings you value as you implement your learning into your own project. It's my intention to leave adequate time at the end of the presentation to address your questions. So please write them down as we move through the presentation so that we don't miss them afterwards. And in particular, I'm going to bring up some models that we can talk about. And if you have a question in particular about a model, it might also help to jot down the slide number that we're on so that you can, ask me to go back to that slide and I can pull it back in. So here we go. Thank you. All right. So during this webinar, I'm going to start by presenting the underlying principles and components that make up risk management. I'll speak to what project contingency is and why it is important to identify the need for contingency in the project, and how then to align and effectively use risk management and contingency needs to ensure a methodical and controlled approach to your spend out of contingency. Now, this controlled approach does provide structure for assessing how much change you can accept in your project before you need to rebaseline, which none of us ever want to do, to rebaseline, but sometimes it's a necessity. So I do feel it's important to mention that the management and contingency could be different to different people depending on your own understanding of project management, the particular discipline you're following in project management, your experience with interlocking disciplines such as systems engineering, and even your organizational definitions of both terms. We can simplify our approach here by defining the terms as relates to this presentation, and hopefully you can connect the dots to your own definitions so that we're all on the same page. So now let's get started. So I thought it would be useful first to clarify the purpose and risk of both risk management and contingency. And for the purposes of this presentation, risk management's purpose is to identify potential problems. And I'm sure that you've heard this, but we look for known risks where it's like, I know there's something that could go wrong here in this one spot, and I know I also have a good idea of how that risk, if it's realized, would really impact the project. And then you have the unknown, the known unknowns, which is I know that there is something that could go wrong in this area in my project, but I have no idea of what that risk would mean if realized, how it would impact the project. There's, of course, another category of risk that I think we know quite well, and that is the unknown risk. And that translates into I have no idea what could go wrong or what would happen if it did go wrong. And there's no better topic right now than COVID in that area. I'm pretty sure that many of us that are managing projects and programs and operations really didn't plan on a pandemic impacting our operations or our projects. We really probably didn't plan for that or could have really predicted the impacts of a complete shutdown and, what that means to us. So it's an excellent example of an unknown that is difficult to plan for even in risk management. So the benefits to our project of structured risk management are really easy to see when you understand that identifying risk allows us to approach allocations of contingency methodically, and that will allow you to use that contingency to achieve your optimal results in your project. If you are used to managing projects independently from risk management, then you are likely very much used to surprises that impact your project, causing trends that lead directly to cost overrunning, budgets, schedules that aren't met, and scope that maybe evolves on the fly. If you are developing your risk register and tucking it in a drawer somewhere, it might be time to rethink that strategy. So now I want to talk a little bit about the purpose of contingency. And the purpose of contingency, as I'll be describing it, is to compensate for cost, schedule, and technical uncertainty, and to address unpredictable risk exposure. I want to talk about the different type of contingency later on in the presentation, but for now, I'd really like to explain that from my systems engineering viewpoint, I cast a broad net when talking about contingency. A budget contingency is an amount of funding that is usually held within the project, but not allocated to the work packages. It is specifically meant to cover risk, either to reduce risk or to manage it once it occurs. So knowns, which you're mitigating, and unknowns, which you are managing once they occur. So when a project is in its life cycle, where it is, that's going to drive the amount of contingency that you're going to want to hold. For example, if you are working on R&D projects, highly spiral kind of project agile, you're probably going to want to hold more contingency than if you're working on a construction or production ready project where you have knowns and you're very comfortable with the risk associated with this project. So a production run of mature parts is likely going to need far less contingency than an R&D project. So there's another category of budget contingency called reserve. And reserve is an amount of funding that is typically held outside of the project and is used to address risks that are realized beyond project control or forethought. And funding from an organization, for example, may be added to a project to manage risks that are realized through no fault of the project, say for like a COVID situation or another pandemic. So when we talk about schedule contingency, this is typically referred to as float or slack. It is, all things considered, the amount of movement in the project activities that can be tolerated without directly impacting the crew.
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN to earn, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.